Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about my experiences with different DAWs and how I mix with them. I haven't really mixed that much with any of them. Um, Logic, I'm very new to it. It seems like a cool program. I like the layout. Um, it's a bit difficult, very different to. It's a very different format than what I'm used to. In the first place, I'm used to having everything organized, and I'm sure you could do it some way. I used to do it in folders in Reaper. And here they call them stacks, and these stacks, when you want to create a template, I work with templates, and when you want to create a template, it you kind of have to create a an audio track to in order to use it. And to me, it's kind of weird because why would I create an audio track if I'm going to import those audio tracks in there? So I have my buses and everything. Coloring would seem to be pretty simple, and I had no issues with that. I had a few pet peeves that I didn't like. When you hit Control 2 and you bring in your mixer, okay, it brings in your mixer and looks very nice, and I like the layout of everything, but if you hit it again and again and again and again and again, why would I need 10,000 mixers, right? And I know in Pro Tools you just hit Control plus or minus, and it it just changes views, and this thing doesn't do that. I don't know why it doesn't. Another thing that I don't like is that if you want to keep stuff organized and move tracks around, it doesn't let you, or at least I don't know of a way to do this. So that was very frustrating for me because I'm used to having everything in a certain order and just getting, I guess, moving the faders, and I couldn't do that. Um, Another thing that seemed a bit different to what I'm used to is the aux tracks. It's a cool concept. You could have one for each thing, but same thing. You couldn't see them here to control the faders, and you couldn't see them in the other view. So you I think I had to click read on these. I saw somewhere in YouTube you had to click read on these, and then they would appear here, and then you can sort them in the order you wanted them, and then you'll see them here in the order you want them. So that was a bit weird, but yeah, I could I was able to work through it. And there we go again. And I guess basically that was the only things I didn't like. I like the layout. I like the color scheme. I like that you can hide different types of tracks. That's perfect when it's very organized when you're trying to mix. And that's about it. I'll talk about Reason next. Okay, so here's Reason. Reason is has been my main DAW lately. It mainly because I'm doing a lot of things with virtual instruments, and I like the instruments in here, and I like the concept of just having a mixer. As you can see, you have integrated EQ and compressor in there. Um, Making the template was hard as well because it doesn't let you create a bus. So what I did initially was I created a new track. Let's see, Control T, and then I routed it to a send. I created a new send too. Sorry, output bus. It's called. And then I deleted the track, and that's the way I created my template. So the cool thing about Reason is that you could sort stuff, so you could put everything in this order, and then you just um, sort selected devices and groups, and it sorts it all over the place. So you have three main windows. You have uh, your mixer channel, and then you have your I guess your transport view, and then you have your rack view, and this is where you put your your plugins. So one thing I hear everybody slamming Reason for is for not having BST support, and I actually like it. It limits you. It makes you understand the tools you have a little bit better. I like that. It lets you scroll through your EQs fairly easily. So I love this feature. I will say that the compressor is fairly transparent. You can make it a little bit dirtier, but you'd have to do a lot of parallel compressing, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it isn't. The EQ is perfect. I don't think you need anything else with this EQ. Um, and then you have your 8 inserts, which would be your sends. So it limits you to only 8 cents. And I might be wrong. Maybe you can add something else, but for what I know, it only limits you to 8 cents, and then you could add individual effects to each track as well. You just put it in your rack, and you could add your plugins in here. One of the things I didn't like about Reason is maybe the window configuration. It makes it a little bit difficult to scroll uh, up and down the mixer, and they do have a way of limiting this. So you could only basically, if you want to see EQ and faders, you could see only EQ faders, which is pretty cool. But to me, it's a little bit more difficult. I hate that it doesn't let you hide the types of tracks. So I have my bus tracks, and I'm very used to just pulling at any point in time, just pulling all my faders, my bus faders down, and balancing the mix that way. And this doesn't do that. So, for example, if I open a real project and I go to my mixer, I have to scroll all the way. If I want to go to my drums, I have to scroll all the way to my left to get to my drums, and then if I want to tweak something in the vocals, I have to go all the way to the right. So to me, it feels too complex. I know they were trying to replicate more or less what a real mixer would be, but I honestly would have loved it if they at least be have the ability to show you just the bus tracks. And I know they do define what a bus track is, so I wouldn't know how difficult it would be just to implement this. But yeah, I guess that's one of my pet peeves with this thing. But yeah, it's a good DAW. All DAWs are good DAWs. It's just a matter of what you're used to. And I was able to manage it. I think I got a fairly similar mix to what I got to Logic. And now Reaper, this is the one I'm more used to. You're constantly gonna see these types of windows. It actually happened now, right now. Uh, this happens to me regularly, and I don't know if it's my computer configuration, I don't know if it's my audio interface, but this happens to me regularly. And if you're working on something and this starts happening to you, I mean, it's a big no-no, right? And the only good thing is that it has autosave options, and it saves backups, and it does a lot of things that other DAWs don't do. I love that you can create your template and not have to create any extra tracks. It always has your folders. It keeps you organized. You can set up scripts to whenever you name a track. So that, for example, if I create a new track and I name it drums, I have it routed so that it automatically populates the color and the icon for your track. So that's, to me, that's amazing. Um, you can customize this thing left and right. I was used to using Pro Tools, but I'm a Pro Tools hater, so stop using it because, yeah, Just going against the current, I guess. And but I still like, I'm used to the shortcuts, so I set up all my shortcuts to be exactly the same as Pro Tools. And as you can see, it kind of looks like it, but it's a lot better because it lets you, for example, if I hit F1, you could see all your tracks, and you can hide all your tracks just by hitting that, and you'll only see your bus tracks. So I haven't seen other DAWs do this. I know that Pro Tools kind of does this, but it's a bit different, and I don't think it's as good. Um, Another thing that I like, you could just drag and drop to do your send. So if, for example, I want to have some reverb, I'll just send. Sorry, it's just delay. I'll just send, just drag and drop, and you have your send. If you want to delete your send, you just hit Alt and click, like just like you would do in Pro Tools, and that's the way you do it. So I really like this DAW. I guess if it were more reliable, it would be perfect. And like I said, I'm not bashing this. I like this. It might be that it's my configuration, so who knows, right? And as you can see, it keeps you fairly organized. You could set up specific buttons, so you can have your grid pointing to 30 seconds. You could have it to holes. So it's pretty cool. You can render just one click, and you have your render format. Oh, another thing that I forgot about Reason. Reason doesn't export to MP3. That kind of sucks too. I would have loved it if it was just simple and send it out to MP3. This doesn't do it off the bat, but like I said, you can customize anything, and you can customize it to output to MP3, to video files. It does all that sort of stuff if you're into it. And that's about it. I hope you like my mixes, and tell me which one sucks less in which DAW. Okay.